Let's make glow in the dark trick-or-treat bags. These are so stinking cute. Okay, let's make them. This is the first bag that I made. Turned out great. And I did stitch with the glow in the dark. It is the new brothread glow in the dark. I got the 8-pack. It comes in 16. It is a 30 weight. It's 500. There's like 8 of them in here. There's 500 meters of thread. I have 2 up here on this machine, and I have 1 in here that I am currently sewing with as I'm sewing these bags, because I wanted to create some glow on the outside of their trick-or-treat bags. So it is a 500 meter, which is like 550 yards. And then it is good for quilting, sewing, like all the things. You can use it for anything. It's embroidery thread, but it works great for everything. It does come in a 16-pack, and it's pastel colors, or an 8-pack. I did get the 8-pack. I love it. I've got it linked down below, and we are working on bag number 2. And I don't know if you can see, but what I'm doing on this one, because it doesn't have squares, I'm just stitching on the outside of this little guy, and I'm going to do like 3 or 4 on the front. And then I've got this cool stitch that I'm going to use and just create some wavy lines throughout so that the bag will glow as much as this one. It did recommend that if you're going to sew, that you do thicker stitches. So I'm doing like double over and around instead of just a single, so it'll like stand out. But then that's why I'm using a little bit of the zigzag. It does say that if you're going to, use it at night, that you should leave it for about 20 minutes in a good light. And then it should last up to about 3 hours, which is fantastic. That's just enough time to go trick-or-treating in the dark and be headed back home. So I think it's great. I've tested it in the closet. It shines. It is fantastic. I will do a couple of lights on, lights off so that you guys can see it. Okay, I just held it up to the light for not even a minute, and I wanted to show how it glows. Isn't that awesome? Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. Love, love, love. This glow is going to be so much fun for these little guys. They are going to have a blast with it. All right, let's go ahead and zoom through this. Okay, now I'm bringing it over to my faff machine, and I am going to do this stitch right here kind of throughout to just kind of give it a little bit more of the glow. I think I'm going to use this color right here instead of a glow white. I have done some decorative stitch on this bag, so you can kind of see I just kind of did something thick so that it will show up, because this is that new bro thread that is glow in the dark. It has been beautiful in all the machines, working great, glows beautifully. I cannot wait to show you guys the final glow up. So what we're going to do, this is bag number 2. This was bag number 1. We did this, and I stitched with the glow thread all along the white. And this one I did use like a teal kind of color, and did my stitching all over the bag so that it would have some glow factor too, because you got 2 kids, you got to do something very similar, if not the same, because that's just not good if you don't. All right, we're back stitching, and I'm just going to make sure that this is lined up all the way down. I'm doing this at 1/2 inch, and the thread worked great all the way through. It is the glow in the dark. I don't know if you can see that, but it's amazing. Okay, so now we are going to do a 2-inch. Okay, so we're gonna match these up. Let's go ahead and put this in. I'm going to do it at about 1/4 inch. Let me get this in here. All right. So now we have our little boxed corners, and this is my exterior. I did cut this down 1 inch. I forgot to give you the dimensions. We are 15 wide, and I did 16 long. Originally, I did 17 on this one, and it was just way too tall. It was just too much. That 1 inch was just too much. So I cut this one down, and this is going to be the lining. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our lining. We're just on this one, we are going to stitch 3 sides. We're going to leave an opening on the side. So I am going to use clips just to remind me that I have to stop and leave a gap, because I'll get to sewing and forget what I'm doing. Are you with me? Do you do that too? Yes. All right. So we are going to start up here. And again, I'm just leaving the glow in the dark thread in. I'm going to go 1/2 inch. And we're going to come down here. It just kicked that right out of there. We're going to lift up. We're going to give it a pull. We're going to come in right there. All right. So now we are going to box these corners. We're going to go ahead and cut these little threads off of here. And this side too. And we're going to do our 2. And I'm going to do it on the inside here. We are going to turn, I think we're going to keep this one right side out. Oh, let me box my corners. I didn't even have to work today, y'all. I took a day of vacation. I went and took an embroidery class. It was awesome. I have a machine that I have not done embroidery on, and I've owned it for almost 10 years now, and I have never used the embroidery option on that machine. So I said, I need to learn how to do that. And I did, and I made a flower, and it was awesome. And now I am looking forward to doing quite a few more things. I do have to like download a booklet and some stuff, but it was a lot of fun. And I look forward to doing more with that. We have our corners boxed. Yay. We are going to turn this one right side out. No, we are going to leave this one inside out. We are going to turn this one. Oh, I got to put my straps on. Okay. So I think what I decided on the last one, and I'm going to use this green, it's kind of muted, was that I wanted to make sure they were long enough, but not too long, the straps, so that the boys could, I totally forgot I moved this like way out of the way so I could film on the other. That's why you're not in frame. I kept thinking, why are y'all not in frame? Or why am I not in frame? That's why. All right, so we did 27, I believe. And I think I ended up going, we'll go 27. It'll be fine. And then we're just going to do one more, same length. Because you're going to put about 1 inch into the bag. All right, and then we are going to mark it and attach it to the back side. And then when we sew it all together, I think it all works out, right? I don't have all of this like 100% in my head, but we need this. And we are going to go, actually, I think I'm just going to use this and go in 5 inches. Is that going to be too close together? That feels like that might be a lot. This bag's not that big, right? And then we'll go 5 inches on this side. And that leaves about 5 inches. That feels good to me. Okay. Let me get that little. This one, we got to do right sides together. So this one is inside out. We are going to need to turn this one right side out because we want to do right sides together. Okay. We're going to put this in here. We have our hole in the side so we can turn it, which is great. And we are going to match up our sides. You can do your nesting. And again, nesting means, does everybody remember? Nesting is when you take one seam and go one direction and the other seam and go the other direction. So then the back of each seam nests up against each other. And that is nesting. And we're going to do this one. And then I'll probably just put a couple of clips around to hold everything. I'm not going to go crazy with them. But I am going to put a few. Just makes it easier. Okay, and then I typically will start on a seam side. Just because you're at the seam and it's not the front or the back, or just makes sense to me. And I'm probably going to go a little over. I'm probably going to go at about a ½ inch, to be honest. I just want to pick up a lot of this handle. And you're just checking to make sure that everything is lined up, that you're not missing any bits or parts, and that you got it all in there. Okay, now we're going to go over our handle. So we want to make sure. I'm probably going to back stitch over that just to make sure, you know, it's going to see a lot of action, especially with a bag full of candy. So I want to make sure I've got good sturdy. I'm doing this at a 2.5. I forgot to tell you that, and I forgot to double check it. And about a ½ inch. We're going to find our little side opening, and we're going to pull everything through. Get it all pushed through. Oh, yes. So great. All right, so now we're just going to make sure we got all our little corners tucked out, pushed out. We're going to reach down in here, hand in there, make sure we get these pushed out as well. We do. Then we're going to close this off. We're going to do, probably 1/8 inch on this, just really close to the edge because I want to make sure I get that closed off so I don't end up with any holes. I think I got it all. And cut off all your extras. Did we get it? Yes, we did. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your little tote, you're going to tuck it down the lining down in here. Get your little corners all pushed in. I'll have to go through and cut off some threads, but I love it. Turned out spectacular. And I am going to just slightly, I just want you guys to be able to see, I am going to roll this down so that I get a little bit more, so the dark green is completely hidden, and I will stitch just on that, probably on that line, if not right on the green. So I'm going to roll that down and give it a clip, and then sew around it. I'm just going to start on one of the seams and sew around that. I'm going to go right at 1/4 of an inch. See where that gets me. So cute. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That is so cute. I love that. Kind of has a little bit of a Frankenstein look to that stitch. And then these little guys on the back, I just picked a few of them and I stitched around them in the glow in the dark. It's that new brothread glow in the dark. I got an 8-pack. It is this little thing right here. You can see I do have the blue and the green on this. We stitched all over this. So now let's take it into the dark room so that you can see. I'm going to cut off some threads and then I'm going to walk you all into the closet, restroom, one of those, and we are going to watch this thing glow. Let's do it. Okay, this is, I just held it up to the light for not even a minute and I wanted to show how it glows. Isn't that awesome? Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. Love, love, love. It worked great. I love it. I highly recommend the glow in the dark thread. I did make trick or treat bags. So like I was trying to stitch a lot of different things. So I used a lot of the colors so I could really see how it was going to work out. It does recommend that you let it sit in direct light for about 20 minutes, and that should give you about 3 hours of glow time for trick-or-treating. And other than that, I think it's awesome. I've got the link down below. You can jump over to my TikTok shop and see what all I've got in there, but highly recommend. And that is it for the trick-or-treat bag tutorial. I did too, and I hope that you guys have fun making them. They're really easy. It's basically a tote bag. You can make it kid-friendly. You can make it adult-friendly. You can put snaps on it, all the fun stuff. All right, y'all. I'm Cassie with 62 Handcrafted. Have a great night, and I will see you soon.